The webinar will begin shortly. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the webinar on California. The webinar will begin shortly. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the webinar on California. The webinar will begin shortly. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the webinar on California. The webinar will begin shortly. The webinar will begin in the next 1 minute. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for taking out your valuable time to attend this webinar. We are now joined by Ms. Christina Colney, Account Director for Visit California in India. She will offer insights into the various tourist offerings of California and also introduce all of you all to their new training app, the California Star. Christina, who is based out of New Delhi, has been working with Visit California for over 4 years undertaking market and trade development activities across the country. Just a quick note, only those attendees who participate in the webinar for more than 30 minutes will be eligible for receiving the certificate of participation. After the webinar, we will move to the question and answer round where Christina will address all your queries. Just a quick note on logistics. You are all kept on mute mode, and in case if you have any queries, please type your questions in the chat box on your screen, and your questions will be answered at the end of the webinar by Christina.
Unmuted.
Thank you, Christina.
Hello everyone and good afternoon. We'd like to welcome everyone to the Visit California webinar, and thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of this webinar, and we really appreciate the fact that you have taken the time to learn more about the state of California. California is a destination which inspires dreamers. It's a destination where you don't just dream, but you dream big. California is a diverse state which inspires dreamers, with something for every kind of traveler. A holiday in California is all about experiencing what the beautiful state and destinations have to offer. When in California, do what the Californians would. We're a great destination for culinary, culture and entertainment, luxury experiences, family experiences and attractions, great destination for outdoor adventure and recreation. And the best part is that we're a year-round destination. So any time of the year is a good time to travel to California. Let us start with some fun facts about California, which will give you an idea of what the beautiful state is all about. The first fact is that we are the third largest state in the United States. We're the fourth leading producer of wine worldwide, which means that our wine experiences are one of the best in the world. We have 4 million acres of national parks and 400 public beaches. So great destination for outdoor adventure and recreation. We have a maximum number of theme parks in California, out of which 2 of the top 10 amusement parks are located in the state of California. And if you can guess, some of you already know, one is Universal Studios in Hollywood and the other is Disneyland in Anaheim, Orange County. And we are a year-long destination, like I mentioned, and we're also ranked number 1 for the number of persons visiting its state parks. Now let's start with our connectivity from India to California, which is very important to know if you want to sell the destination and also if you want to promote California as a leisure and tourist destination. We only have one direct flight from India into California. I think some of you are aware. It's our national carrier, Air India, which started 2 years ago. And we started with 3 weekly in 2015, and in November 2016, they decided to double the flight. So now we have 6 weekly flights from New Delhi into San Francisco, which is one of the most important gateways into North America and also California. But Indians are used to traveling via hubs. There's no issues. We have tons of great connectivity via hubs, via the Atlantic, via the Pacific, or via the Gulf. And as you can see, we are located in the west coast of the United States of America. So you can see the blue star where California is actually located. Moving on into our main gateway cities. So now we have 4 major international gateways into the state of California. One of the most popular being San Francisco. Second most popular, Los Angeles. And then we have San Diego in the southernmost part of California. And also we have now San Jose, which is also in the San Francisco Bay Area. And most of you know the destination of San Jose as the Silicon Valley, very popular with tech companies. And that is the state of California and how we are placed. You can see we are bordering the state of Nevada, and which means that Las Vegas is very close to the state of California. It is not a part of California. A lot of people actually think that Las Vegas is a part of California, but it's not. It's actually a part of the state of Nevada. But Las Vegas is only about 4 hours drive from Los Angeles, so it's a great extension to your California program and your West Coast itinerary as well. And north of California, we have Oregon, and southern part of California, we are bordering the state of Mexico. Now let's take a closer look at the state of California. We have 12 magnificent regions in California, and each region basically is very different from one another. It's almost like going to a completely different destination, or completely like going to a different location altogether. Very unique. Each region is very unique. And we will run through some of the regions just to give you some idea of newer destinations beyond the gateways. And as this presentation is also meant to give you an idea of how you can build and create unique itineraries. So I think a lot of you are familiar with the San Francisco Bay Area and the Los Angeles County. But through this presentation, you're going to learn more on how you can expand your product beyond those gateway destinations. And you need to pay attention because we have a very exciting contest which we will announce at the end of this presentation. So pay close attention, and if you like to take screenshots of the presentation, please feel free to do so. So I'm going to pause for a little bit, so if in case you just want to take a screenshot. Okay, now we're going to start with one of the most popular gateways into California, which is the San Francisco Bay Area. A lot of you are familiar with this region, I'm sure. So the Bay Area includes very iconic cities like the San Francisco City, which everybody is familiar with. We also have the city of Oakland, San Jose, Silicon Valley, just to name a few. So they all come under the San Francisco Bay Area. It's also home to very iconic landmarks like the Golden Gate Bridge, museums, performing arts, the Bay Cruises, and they're just a short distance to the wine countries, which are world famous wine countries, Napa and also Sonoma wine country. So now taking a closer look at the Northern California map. You can see where San Francisco is with the Golden Gate icon, that is the Bay Area. And now we're going to learn a little bit about how we can go beyond San Francisco Bay Area. I have mentioned some of the driving distances from San Francisco to various very unique and beautiful destinations that you can easily connect to and put as an extension. And as you can see on the map, Napa and Sonoma, only 50 minutes drive away from San Francisco City. Lake Tahoe, which is very popular now with the Indian market, is only 3.5 hours away if you drive directly from San Francisco. If you want to go to the wine countries of either Napa or Sonoma, that's only 3 hours if you combine it with Lake Tahoe. So if you do, a lot of people actually do the golden, they call it like the golden triangle. So San Francisco to Sonoma to Lake Tahoe, that will take you about 3.5 hours. And if you want to go directly to Lake Tahoe, you can do that as well. But some people like to combine an entire road trip itinerary. And Yosemite National Park, which is approximately, again, 3 hours, and is the most important and basically popular national park that we have in California. And it's very, very popular with the Indian audience. And again, if people are more adventurous, they want to go beyond, they have more time, you can take them to Lassen Volcanic National Park in the Shasta region, which is, again, the Shasta region is popular for outdoor adventure, soft outdoor adventure with family. wine countries, and so on. And you also have Mammoth Lakes. So people don't want to drive, you can even fly them into Mammoth Lakes or even to Lake Tahoe, because these two destinations have an airport. Then we come to the central part of California. So this is the region between the San Francisco Bay Area and Los Angeles County, as you can see. So this is the region which is home to very popular destinations like Monterey Bay, Carmel, the Big Sur, the iconic landmark Hearst Castle, the Danish town of Solvang, the American Riviera, Santa Barbara, which is also home to the original Hollywood. And these all destinations are around the central part. And of course, you can see the Central Valley region, which is home to most of our agricultural farmland. So a lot of organic products comes from the central part of California. And all these destinations are fantastic, great extension between San Francisco and also Los Angeles. The Highway 1 is very popular in this route, where you're driving right on the coast. And a lot of people actually like to drive between San Francisco and Los Angeles. But a lot of times we tell people to tell their customers to stop in one of these fantastic destinations overnight and actually experience what these destinations have to offer. Then moving on from the Central Coast, we come to the Los Angeles County. And everyone knows this is one of the most popular regions in California, and home to Hollywood and celebrities. And of course, some of our attractions are very iconic. We have the Universal Studios Hollywood, which is world famous. It is the original Universal Studios. And if if you have heard me present before, I always talk about how it's very unique and you cannot compare it with other Universal Studios that your clients may have already seen in other destinations, because we are the only one that is in Los Angeles is the one that is the original, number one, and number two, it is also a live working movie studio. So this makes it very unique, and the studio experience is out of this world. So you have to tell your clients to do Universal Studios in Los Angeles. We also have a very popular Warner Brothers Studios. This is very interesting, and you should always try and include this in your Los Angeles itinerary, because a lot of people, basically agents, do not include it in their itinerary. But when the client goes there, they actually go to Warner Brothers Studio because they realize what a big attraction it is, and it's actually a must-do in Los Angeles. And fantastic attractions like the Hollywood and Highland, the Walk of Fame, the Hop-on, Hop-off tours. We have the original farmers market, fantastic shopping all throughout the city. And of course, if somebody is interested in museums, aquariums, exploratoriums, we have tons of that as well. Now looking at adding on programs or adding on destinations to your Los Angeles itinerary. So you may have a client who says, I have 5 nights in Los Angeles, or I have 5 nights to spend in and around Los Angeles. What else can I do? So these are your options. So you can see the map of Los Angeles. It's very near distance to Orange County, which is home to attractions like Disneyland, Newport Beach, Laguna Beach. We also have the first theme park in America called the Knott's Berry Farm, and all in the Orange County region, not in Los Angeles. It's just 40 minutes drive from Los Angeles, but it's a great extension if you have families that are traveling with kids. And then we also LA connects very easily with Santa Barbara and Solvang that I spoke about. It's only about 2 hours drive from Los Angeles. You can also go on and go to the desert regions of Palm Springs. From Palm Springs, you can connect to Joshua Tree National Park. Or if somebody has more time, 2.5 hours drive from Los Angeles, you can go to San Diego. It's actually one of my favorite cities in California. Beautiful destination for couples, for honeymooners, and family as well, because we have SeaWorld, we have the San Diego award-winning zoo, we have the Safari Park, the USS Midway Museum, all of that. And apart from that, if somebody wants a wine experience in Southern California, then the Inland Empire is your perfect destination. It's just about an hour and a half drive from either Los Angeles or San Diego, and you have beautiful award-winning wineries, and you can do a whole wine experience. You can even stay there. There are great accommodations as well. And if somebody wants to go onward from Los Angeles or San Diego to Las Vegas, it's only about 4.5 hours drive. So people can easily combine it in their West Coast itinerary. So that's a little bit about the regions of California and how you can connect. So it's an easier way to understand how easily most of these regions connect to each other. A lot of people drive. The Indian driving license is valid for a year in the US, which means that you do not need to apply for an international driving license. And so self-drive is the best way to do it. We have car rental companies like Alamo, we have Hertz, we have Avis, which are all marketing themselves in India. So you can book in India directly as well. Another option is that we have the Amtrak train in California that connects to most part of California. So going from the north, coming down the central coast, getting into Los Angeles, and even going to San Diego is also a great way if your clients are not comfortable driving. And if you want a chauffeur-driven car, you can always get in touch with us, and we can always connect you to companies that can do transportation for your clients as well. Now, a very exciting part of our presentation. I'm sure some of you are already California experts, which is our online training program, our certified program. And we launched this in 2009. So a lot of people have been asking us about the refresh program. What else is there? Is there any new content? If they have already become a California expert, what's new? So this year in January 31st, we launched our brand new app called California Star. I think some of you may have already completed the California Star, but if you haven't, so this is fantastic. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the California Star program. It's a brand new app, and it's also available on the web. So if you don't want to download the app, you can access it online as well. Once you are on the content, everything works offline. Once the app is downloaded on your phone, all the content is offline. You don't have to be connected to the internet to access the content. And it's not just a training program, but it's also a sales and training buddy. Basically, it's going to help you in selling the destination. So you can refer to it. There are video content, there are images that you can use, and you can share them directly on your social media, on Facebook, and you can also share the images and the videos directly with your customers, and they get it in their email, and then they receive a link and they can open the videos to get inspired in case they're planning a trip to California, so you can even inspire them further. So if you get into our travel trade website, we have a travel trade website called trade.visitcalifornia.in. So you can see the screen, trade.visitcalifornia.in. That is our travel trade website. Once you log in, you can see on the right hand side, I've circled an option where it says Become a California Star. So that is the link you can click to get into the web version of the California Star program. But just to talk about this travel trade website, we also have sample itineraries on the right hand side. You can see just under Become a California Star, and you can even click on more, and you can see tons of itineraries that we have created just for your reference. So if you have clients who are interested, you can even share these itineraries with them to just inspire them and tell them what else is there to do in California. And yes, and then you can design your itineraries. You can customize them according to the number of nights they want, the kind of activities they want. And you can even sign into our digital assets. So if you sign in and register yourself, you have access to tons of images and video assets as well. So moving on to the app version. So the California Star app, you just type in California Star on your Android or iOS. It supports both. And you can see the icon that comes out, California Star, and install it. And once you install it, it downloads all of the content into your iPad or phone and or tablet, and you can use all of that content which is available to you. So once you're on the web version or the online version or the app version, you can see, once you enter the website, you can see the option, or you're on the app either, you get the option which says, quick question, do you professionally sell travel experience? So you have to click on yes, because you are a travel agent. So you have to click on yes. And once you click on yes, you get this option. So you have to fill in your email address, your first name and last name, your agency name, which is your company, and your the state where you belong from. So this portion is very important. I would request all of you to always fill all of the information which requires, such as your address, your detailed address, your cell number, all of that, because we keep incentivizing California stars, or like we've been doing for the expert program. And if you do not enter your address or email address, we can never send you your gifts, or whenever we are running a contest, if you win a lucky draw, we can never pull out your details because you've not entered your full details, and we'll always opt for somebody who's actually entered their complete information. So once you fill in your details, you click on submit. So once you submit, you come into this page where it says fuel your dreams, and you can see the menu on the left hand side. It says home, training, directory, fast facts, toolbox, and discover. There's tons of information on the app, like connecting you to various web pages, some important facts, directory of suppliers, and you can start with the training module. That's where the training sits, and we have 8 chapters. So once you click on training, it's going to take you to the next page. So this is the training page, and it has 8 chapters, as you can see. So once you start working on it, you can see the percentage increase once you start doing the quizzes. So you can start with any chapter that you are interested in. If luxury is a focus for you, start with luxury. If you're more interested in culinary or culture, you can start with any of those. So these are our brand experience pillars, and once you complete the entire 8 chapters, sorry, you will qualify and become a California Star agent, and you will get a certificate which is personalized in your name, which is system generated. I'm sorry. So it's system generated. So it automatically stays, the certificate automatically stays in your app, or on your online web version, and you can either print it or email it to yourself, or you can just save it. So I am going to now hand it over to Disha.
Muted.
That ends an insightful presentation from Christina on California and the California Star Training app. I'm sure all of you all have gained valuable insights from the webinar. We are now open to taking questions. Christina will be answering all your queries. Over to you, Christina.
About some of our
Unmuted.
assets. So like I was saying, please type in your questions, and while you're doing so, I'm going to talk about some of our assets and the brand new contest that I'm announcing today. So like I said, the California Star program, it sits on star.visitcalifornia.com/in. Please make sure to go to com/in because that is the India page. If you just go to com, you might end up registering in the US page and I will not be able to find your details. And an easier way to also find it is going through our trade website, trade.visitcalifornia.in. That also has an option that will take you to the California Star program. And if you want any information, any content about California, you will find it in our consumer website called visitcalifornia.in, which is for India market. And you can even share this website with your clients if you want them to consider California as their next travel destination. Now, the best part of this presentation is our Dreamers contest. So like I mentioned, we are announcing this contest today with this webinar, and we're calling it the Dreamers contest. And some of the criteria here I'm going to talk about. Number one, you have to create a California only itinerary for 8 nights. It has to include at least 3 regions out of the 12 regions in California. It can be 3 or more, that's up to you, but minimum 3 regions. It can be a fly or drive itinerary, so you can decide what you want to do. You can do a self-drive itinerary, or you can just do an intercity flight as well. That's up to you. Point 2 is the itinerary has to be very different. Please don't send me an itinerary that everybody has been selling for the past 10 years. So we don't want an itinerary like that. We want you to be creative and we want you to be different. You have to include unique attractions and experiences as well. Something that is not included in a regular itinerary that is being sold in the market or which other agents are already doing. So do something different. So dream big. And for this itinerary, I have chosen one theme, which is a summer family holiday. Since summers are fast approaching and everybody is booking their summer holidays now, looking at destinations where they want to take their family. So we want you to create the itinerary for a family of 4 people who has 2 kids. So basically a couple with 2 kids whose age are 6 and 10. So you have to design the itinerary of 8 nights for them. And once you've created that itinerary, you have to send it to my email ID, that's ccolney@visitcalifornia.in. And please put the subject as Visit California Dreamers Contest so that I know that this is with regard to the participation of the contest. And you have to send us your itineraries by 31st of March. So if you send it to us before 31st March, you'll be qualified. Post that, we'll not be able to qualify you for the contest. And we will analyze and we will select the best and the most creative itinerary, and we will incentivize the winner with a paid trip to California, a fully paid trip to California. So if you need to screenshot the screen, please do that so you have all the information. But post the webinar, we will be also sending you an email with information on the contest and my email IDs as well. So now we're going to move on to the question and answer box. So I'm just going to go through some of your questions. Okay, so somebody called Sanjay Mehta, you've not entered your company details, so I'm not sure which company you're calling in from, but he said, is coach traveling available between Los Angeles and Las Vegas, and is it safe to drive? There are tons of buses that runs between Los Angeles and San Francisco. Very safe. A lot of people like to take it if they're used to traveling between between these cities, and if they are comfortable taking a public transportation, that's up to them. But of course, like companies like the Greyhound, the Red buses. There's so many buses that runs between these two cities. So that's another option. A lot of people like to take that as well. Otherwise, if you're more concerned about safety and you want to ensure that your clients do not have to go through the hassle of going to a bus station and stuff like that, you can just book them on a private coach between the two cities. Or then Bakul Kodinal has asked, Kodikal, sorry, I don't know the name of your company, it's not coming in. So it says, what is the name of the train which goes from North Cali to South Cali? So the train is called the Amtrak, A-M-T-R-A-K. So the Amtrak train is the one that services around California. So most of the major destinations are connected via the Amtrak. It's a great option. I've traveled on Amtrak between Oakland to Sacramento. It's very comfortable, and they also have Wi-Fi on board, which is a great deal. So another question is, somebody asked, Imtiaz has asked, what are the advantages of, I think he means CA Star. Basically, it's an online training program to train you on the destination, because education is key when you're doing product development. I think California is a destination without product knowledge. It's not a destination that you will be able to sell. So education and knowing more about the destination, your product knowledge is very important. And I think there's so much that um, a trainer like me can tell you about information, what to do, but it's something that personally you also have to do a little bit of reading and a little bit of education on your own. So that is the reason why we made this app. And the advantage is also that once you become a California Star, you have access to all of that content, video assets, images that you can download, that you can use, that you can share directly with your customers, that you can share on your social media page directly. So all this allows you to kind of promote the destination, and at the same time gives you product knowledge and information to sell the destination. Jasmeet Singh says, what does Indian driving license valid for 1 year mean? Okay. So the Indian driving license, if you're an Indian, you have an Indian driving license, of course, authorized by the government of India. And now most of us, I think, have the card license, which has the chip. So please try and make sure that your customer has the card license with the chip. So the Indian driving license is valid for 1 year in the United States of America, which means that you do not need to apply for an international driving license. Most countries require that you require to apply for a separate international driving license, and your Indian license is not valid. But that's not the case in California, and in fact the entire United States. If you have the Indian driving license, which has the card and the chip, which is a card and a chip, then you're good to go. You can rent any car throughout the state. So that's what that means when I say it's valid for 1 year. But if somebody is residing there for like more than a year, then of course they will have to automatically apply for a license there. So visitors, self-drive, it's very easy. And Jasmeet, no, I think Sanjay Mehta has asked me, after completing California Star, if we travel to California, do we have any special deals for the travel fraternity for sightseeing? So we don't have that much of deals currently, but if you're a California Star and you're traveling to the city of San Francisco, we can give you 2 complimentary city passes that has access to some of the major attractions in San Francisco. And the city of Los Angeles has an option that if you are an AITA card holder, then you can have access to some discounts, trade discounts in Los Angeles. But apart from that, we currently do not really have any trade discounts, but we can help you in connecting to suppliers. I can ask some of the hotel partners we work with on a regular basis. We can connect you. And you being a trade, you can always request for a special deal. Jasmeet Singh again says, why are hotel options in LA not that good? I recently tried searching for a hotel in the US dollar 120 range and couldn't find anything with a decent TripAdvisor rating. Jasmeet, California is a premium destination. Los Angeles in particular is one of the most premium cities in the world. You will not get a hotel which is in that range which has good reviews. Even for us, like there are days when the entire city gets sold out. They have Oscars happening, the Grammys happening, they have huge conventions happening, and the city gets blacked out. You actually get calendars in Los Angeles where the city is sold out. So that is not the kind of budget that you should be looking at. And in fact, we usually look at a budget of 200 to 250 minimum, which is also sometimes really tough during peak season. If you have a much lower budget, you can look at staying outside of the city, like Orange County region is a very good option if you're looking at more budgeted hotels, because the hotels there are less expensive and less pricey, and Los Angeles is just 45 minutes away. So you can still cover Los Angeles and still stay in a decent hotel in Orange County. But the kind of budget that you are looking at is also, I think for Los Angeles, it's a little on the lower range. Shahnawaz Khan from Jaisalmer has said, I am located in Jaisalmer, a small city in Rajasthan. Can I also become a California star? Of course you can. It's for any kind of agents. It doesn't matter whether you're in operations, you're in product, it doesn't matter whether you're in sales. We encourage everybody to become a California star. And you have my email address. Whenever you're planning an itinerary, you're trying to sell California, you're getting stuck, you don't have enough information, you can always email me or you can always call me. I'm always there available to help. If I'm not available, there will be somebody who can get back to you. But I love working personally with agents who are based in smaller cities. And we are trying to work more and more with the tier 3 cities as well, trying to get more connected, trying to educate them even more. And yes, of course, you can become a California star. And we are doing more and more incentives. So more lucky draws, more contests. So we want to engage all of our agents pan-India, and everybody is welcome. Krupa says you're unable to open video. Okay, Krupa, can you send me a screenshot of the situation that you are facing? If you are facing any situation while working on the app or online, just send me a screenshot on my email ID. My email ID is open. Just send me a screenshot and we will make sure that we kind of get back to you on that. Harshil Patel says, where is the best self-drive taken in California? The whole state of California is fantastic for self-drive. We have fantastic highways and roads. So we are very fortunate state. We are one of the best destinations in the world for self-drive. It doesn't matter where you go. There's no particular route. As you can see the map in the beginning of my presentation, you can either cover the north, from north to south, go to the Sierras, which is again beautiful, go to the national park, so you can cover all parts. But if you want a more consolidated information, if you go to visitcalifornia.in, we have, that's our consumer website. We have some sample road trips there. If you send me an email, I can also send you the link directly. And there's some sample suggested road trips. But if you also want to look at our travel trade website, we have sample road trip itineraries there as well. But if you can't find the link, just drop me an email and I will send you the link. Ritesh Vadia says, would we be able to create customized itineraries and costing for the same once we successfully complete the CSR California specialist program? Of course, that's the whole idea, because you will gain so much product knowledge, like what is California all about? Wine country, great craft beer, great family attractions, great outdoor adventure, national parks. If that is all you understood from that presentation as well, that is a beginning. We can start somewhere. And the whole idea is to help you customize your itineraries. And with what India has come up today with our customers who are so savvy, tech savvy, are frequent travelers. Everybody wants to do a customized holiday. Nobody wants to be restricted now on groups. So people now are exploring the options of customizing, doing what they want to do at their own leisure. So this is the start, and you will gain that product knowledge. And from there onwards, any help you need, we are there to help you and plan and connect even to DMCs. If you don't have a supplier to work with to do your costing, you can write into us. I can provide you with a list of DMCs that you can work with that are working with the India market. So you can start in that manner. So this is a very good start. And of course, like I said, I'm always there to assist and answer all of your questions and help you with your product planning. Oh, Kavin Mohan Jayakumar has said, do you need only itinerary or itinerary with costing? I need only itinerary. I don't care about the costing. That's something that you can work out with your supplier. So the contest, the Dreamers contest is only itinerary. I only need an itinerary. Okay. So don't worry about costing. Just be creative with your itinerary. Put in interesting stuff. So that's all I want to see. Achyut Mishra has asked, is there any tour bus which covers all of the regions of California? So this is a very good question. If you do not have clients that are comfortable traveling as an FIT or traveling by themselves, or do not want to pay so much for a chauffeur-driven car, then we do have DMCs that have escorted group tours. So you don't need to have the escorted group tour. You can just pick your FIT. They have the escorted group tours, and you can actually buy their group tours and put your clients on their escorted group tours. But you also have to understand that these itineraries can be very quick and very brief, very limited to what you can see or what you can do, because for them, the costing is a big factor. That's why they have the escorted group tours. But of course, you have companies like that. And there are several suppliers within California itself which has escorted bus tours which covers all of California. So I hope that answers your question. And if you want some of the companies, then you can just send me an email and I can even connect you to some companies. For example, there is a company in San Francisco called Extronomical Tours, and they are just a tour company. So they're not a DMC, they're just a tour company, and they do trips. They can do day trips to wine country like Napa, Sonoma with the redwoods, or they can do day trips to Yosemite National Park and bring you back the same day. It's a proper guided tour, very educational, fantastic. They take you to all the major locations where you can take pictures. So if people don't have the time, that's fantastic. They also do their tours with addition of hotels. So if somebody says, I want to stay back in Yosemite or I want to stay back in Sonoma, you can club their regular daily tours with a stay over in those destinations, and you can come back with the same tour the next day. So that's also an option. And if you have any emails like that, just drop me an email. I will be happy to send you the contact details, and you can talk to them directly, and they can even give you a commissionable rate. So Tushar has left the conversation, but he asked a question which was quite interesting. Can you provide caravans for family tour? Yes. It's not a very popular concept from India, but European countries are very popular with caravans and driving on their own and having a place to stay and stuff like that. But of course, We have those options, and the suppliers are actually listed on our consumer website as well. Dr. Jayant Ahirao has asked, what about the ease of visa issuance to California and India tourists? So actually, it will be the US visa, and for people who've already been selling US visa has become one of the easiest visas to apply and to get now. Everybody gets a 10-year visa to United States. So you will have a lot of repeat and frequent travelers. And this is more of a consulate question, but yeah, it's been about 4 years that the consulate has revised their visa procedure, and now it's one of the easiest visa to get. Okay, somebody said, as a wedding destination, what all do I need to highlight? So I don't know if you mean as a wedding, as a destination wedding, or more as a honeymoon destination. So if you mean for a destination wedding, so of course we have fantastic and beautiful wine countries, places like Mendocino, Napa Valley, Sonoma County are all very popular for weddings, the wineries and the wine regions. And the lake regions like Lake Tahoe, North and South Lake Tahoe are beautiful, beautiful locations for weddings. They have fantastic wedding locations. And even San Diego is fantastic for weddings. They have some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. And another option was, when I was in California last month, we did the Malibu Wine Safari, and it's in Malibu in Los Angeles, and it's a private winery. You can do an entire winery tour, and the winery has they host more than 210 weddings in a year. So you have so many fantastic locations like that throughout California. It just depends on client's budget and where they want to do it, what kind of location they're looking at. So that's tons of options. And if you're talking about honeymoon, then of course, if people go to California, they have to do San Francisco, they have to do Los Angeles. Santa Barbara is beautiful for couples and honeymooners. San Diego is beautiful for honeymooners and couples. And of course, our wine countries, our lakes, and also our national parks, I would say. They're all fantastic. Okay, so Padma from Odyssey Travels asked, in case clients want to visit the Google, Yahoo offices in a short term or want to take a tech tourism, how do we go about it? So this is it's an interesting question. I get asked a lot with now San Jose coming into the radar and becoming so popular. So Google, Facebook, Apple, all these companies, you can go and see the offices from outside, but if you want to go inside, you need to have a contact who actually works in these companies. If you do not have a contact, you cannot get in. So a lot of people who actually get into these companies are people who have connections, like families or relatives who are actually working in these companies, and they can take you inside. But otherwise, as an agent or as Visit California, we cannot take people inside. You have to understand, at the end of the day, these are corporate firms and there are people who are working in these companies. So they're quite strict with the security. But if you have a connection inside, if you know somebody who works there, a cousin, a friend or somebody, that's the only way that you can get in. But yes, we have been having conversations. Our head office has been starting conversations with these head offices to see if there's any way that people can do these tours if they're interested. So we'll see what happens. So Priyanka said, I don't know why your companies are not showing up, so I can't really tell you which company you're writing from. Priyanka V said, can we design the itinerary on Amtrak for Dreams contest? Oh, she's mentioned her company, My Bliss. She's from My Bliss Tour, Priyanka Verma. Of course you can. You can do anything. Fly, drive, Amtrak, any way you want it, you can design it. That's up to you. So Shahnawaz Khan says, what is the peak time and lean time of California? It differs a little bit, but summer, of course, like any place in the world, May, June, July is like crazy peak season with school holidays, and not just from India, but from all over the world, and also domestically in California as well. And it kind of depends, because like I was in November in Disneyland and it was crazy, like crazy. There were school kids everywhere and they had this short weekend holiday and all the schools were bringing their students. So it kind of depends, but the winter period, I would say, the winter and spring for some of the destinations just before summers, I think I would say after November up to March, April. These are good timings for some of the destinations around California because they don't have too much of traffic and summer has not yet kicked in. So it's a good time to kind of plan your travel as well. And California, like I said, it's a year-round destination. We don't have extreme winters. Even in the winter, Southern California is beautiful and warm and nice. And you can combine it with your snow experience as well. Take a flight from Los Angeles to Mammoth. In 1 hour, you're in the snow mountains skiing and trying snowboarding. So it's fantastic. You can do a combination of being in the beach or going to the mountains. Oh, somebody, Sonali Mahendale, I think, has asked a very good question. She said, is there a special tour for whale watching in the month of May or June in California? Very good question. I love this. I didn't talk about whale watching, although I had a whale icon somewhere in my slide. California is one of the best places to go whale watching in the world. We have a year-round whale watching season. So there's no particular season. We have different kinds of whales migrating at different periods, especially places like Newport, Monterey, all these places, San Diego are very popular locations for whale watching. And I do have some whale watching companies, but if you have, Sonali, if you have a specific area that you're looking at, whether it's in Monterey or whether it's in San Diego, just let me know and I will get you some of the companies, the whale watching companies that you can work with. And okay, so Vikrant Sharma has asked me, please advise activities and sightseeing for kids as we usually get family packages. So need to advise. Very good question again, because we love kids. California is very kid friendly. And in fact, our some of our international offices in US, UK, we are doing a campaign with focusing on kids called Kidifornia. So you can actually see a video campaign on YouTube or even on our website. I can even share that video for you where the campaign is all about focusing on kids and their experiences. So we have fantastic family attractions for kids. Number one, we have Universal Studios is fantastic. Kids love it. We have Disneyland in Anaheim, which is the original Disneyland again. And it depends on what age the kids are. If kids are younger than 6 years old, I would recommend them going to Legoland, which is in San Diego, because Legoland is for smaller children that are too young to actually go straight to Disneyland. So that's a very good option. We also have attractions like the USS Midway Museum, which is an aircraft museum in San Diego, and kids, especially boys, they love it. You can play with those aircraft. They have artificial simulators. You can sit in all of those aircrafts, take pictures. So they love it. And I love it as well. And I'm a grown-up, but I still love it. And they also have, we have tons of zoos. The San Diego Zoo is an award-winning zoo. The San Diego Safari Park is fantastic. You can feed the giraffes. You can feed rhinos. So it's like fantastic. And yeah, so many attractions. We have fantastic museums. The California Academy of Science in San Francisco is a fantastic museum. It's not just an aquarium, it's an exploratorium. It's also a science museum, very interactive. We also have the exploratorium in the San Francisco Bay, in the Fisherman's Wharf. We also have the Bay Aquarium at the Pier 39, which is again fantastic. So it just depends on where you are. If you need some ideas of where you are and where your clients are going, you can always let me know, and I can always give you my ideas on what are the options that you can do, and then you can kind of incorporate those. Okay, so Ronak Jain from Musafir.com has asked, is there no direct flight from India? I think you missed the beginning of my presentation. There is one direct flight from India, but it's operated by Air India. It's a premium flight, and it flies directly, 13 hours flight from Delhi to San Francisco directly. And they fly 6 weekly. So that is the only direct flight we have as of now, but hoping they give us more direct flights eventually. So if you all give us more business and you send more people to California, maybe we'll have more direct flights into California. So someone says, in a group of senior citizen age group 60 plus, how much days do we give in California? It's hard for me to say how many days. It depends on you, basically the client, not you, but how much time the client has, what kind of packed itinerary they want to do, or what kind of interest they have. If you ask me, I would say even 10 days is enough, because it's hard to see all of California even in 10 days. I've done a 10-day trip to California, but by the end of my trip, I couldn't even remember what I did in the beginning of the trip. It was so packed and so busy. So it depends on how much time the client has, what kind of activities and attractions they enjoy. So accordingly, you can kind of get an idea, and then you can just kind of customize. It depends on the client's budget as well. Someone says, is there a special package for senior citizen? Not particularly that I know of, but there are companies that operate premium escorted group tours in California as well. Not the budgeted tours, but there are companies like, I think ATI does that, and several other, I don't remember it off my head, but I can always find that out and let you know. So they are premium companies. They do a more higher end escorted coach tours, which I think are a great option for senior citizens. So that's a very good question as well. And we have a lot of senior citizens now that are liking to travel. They go on their own holidays. They don't like to wait for their family. They want to organize their own holidays and travel as a couple or by themselves. So this is a fantastic option, and you get to meet a lot of people as well. Okay, Sumita David has asked me another interesting question. She says, also wanted to know if we can get Indian veg meals and pure Jain meals in or around California. Sumita, very good question. Now, I was talking about how California is so big with our organic produce. California, if you go there, you will only hear farmers market, organic, vegan. A lot of Californians are in fact vegans or vegetarians. So you will never have a problem with vegetarian food or Jain food in California, because you also have Indian restaurants throughout the state. So everything is so organically organic, but that is what the term they use is always organic. Your drinks are organic, your food is organic, you have pure organic restaurants, so stuff like that. And we also have Indian restaurants everywhere in California: San Francisco, Los Angeles, the Central Coast, Central Valley. I can even share some of the Indian restaurant lists. So just after this webinar, just send me an email and I can send you the list of Indian restaurants in California, in the major cities at least. But in some of the smaller cities, there are Indian restaurants as well, but we'll just need to find them. So good question. That's always a very important question for Indian travelers. Devjit Deka has asked, do you have any national park tour in the state of California? Like I mentioned, yes. One of our most popular national park is Yosemite National Park. It's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the first national parks in California. And they do have a tour inside the park. So even if you go by yourself, you drive, there is an escorted guided tour inside the park, which starts at the Valley Lodge Hotel, and you can just purchase a ticket, and they have, I think, every hour or every half an hour they have a tour, and you can just buy the tickets at the spot and just take the bus that takes you to all the iconic locations inside the park. Oh, Anuja says, does the city have public transportation, trains, buses? Of course they do. Like any other city, they do. So Anuja, San Francisco is, for example, a small walking city. Um, you also have the BART, which is the metro connection, which is fantastic. Or you can take the Muni or the bus. So tons of options within San Francisco. Los Angeles is a little bit more challenging because the metro connectivity is not as great because Los Angeles is a big city. So there are some routes where you may have challenges that you cannot only survive on the metro network. But now there are a lot of construction going on expanding that option. And in some of the smaller cities, of course, you have the buses. But if you go to a really rural place like maybe the Shasta region, then of course you will have limitations in terms of public transportation. So just to keep that in mind. But another thing is Uber. If you use the Uber app, the same Uber app works in California. So that is an easier way to get from one point to the other and a more economical way. And plus, there are taxis everywhere if you want to rely on taxis. But Ubers are more economical compared to taxis. So a lot of us, we actually use that option as well. So just in case somebody's not driving and just wants to go to dinner and come back, they can just Uber or they can just call a taxi. So Vikrant Sharma has asked, please advise all the major hotels located in city center or out of the city for ease to make transfers. I cannot give you, it's not humanly possible to give you the list of all the major hotels in and outside of the city because there are tons and tons of hotels throughout California. But you can remember is that the Super Shuttle is a transfer service that operates throughout California, and it is the best way to take transfers to the hotel and to the from the airport to the hotel and hotel to airport. Even I use this when I go. I never book a car when I go to California. I always book the Super Shuttle. And once you get out of the airport, you can ask anybody at the airport, any airport staff, like, where's the Super Shuttle counter? And they will guide you to the location. Just tell them I want to go to this hotel or I want to go to this address, and they will tell you which shuttle to take. And accordingly, just take the shuttle. It costs you only about $23 to $25, which is super cheap, and you have a door-to-door drop, which is fantastic. So that is a good way. It doesn't have to be that your client has to stay near the airport because of not having a transportation or a transfer. It's not required. You don't even need to book a car. You can just book the super shuttles. If you're a big group, you can just book a private car, like a taxi, a private taxi with your hotel concierge. They will just call the taxi for you and there's no commission on it. You just pay the taxi driver directly. So if you're in a group, that's more helpful. But if you are just one or two people, then it's much cheaper to take the super shuttle, which is super convenient. You can just tell your hotel concierge one day before and they will arrange for the super shuttle to come at a time. They will tell you what time they're picking you up and you just need to go wait for your shuttle at the front porch, and that's it. Okay. So Harshad Gupta has asked, can we do whitewater rafting and air balloons in California? Of course you can. So the most popular for river rafting is in the Sacramento River. That is very popular, American white river rafting. So that is one of the most popular I know. But hot air ballooning, you have activities mostly in the wine countries, in Napa, Sonoma. You can also do it in the Temecula area, which is the Southern California wine country. And in fact, Temecula has a huge hot air balloon wine festival every year. I think, if I'm not mistaken, sometime in the beginning of the year between April, I'm not sure exactly which month, but that is the time they do that festival. So you can do hot air ballooning, and it's a fantastic experience. You can actually hot air balloon over the vineyards, looking over the wine country. So it's actually a must do for clients who are looking for a unique experience. And to add to that, you can also do helicopter tours in the city. Like San Francisco offers a helicopter tour. I just did that a month ago. It takes you under the Golden Gate. It flies you under the Golden Gate Bridge. So it's like a fantastic experience. You can do it in Los Angeles as well. And I love the Los Angeles one as well. You can see the Hollywood sign up close. You can see all of the beach area, downtown. Um, and it gives you an idea of the entire city of Los Angeles, especially if you have such a short period of time. And in terms of costing, hot air ballooning usually cost, not hot air, yeah, hot air ballooning and also helicopter tour will always range between $200 to $250 per person. So that's to give you an estimate of how much it costs. Saket Narayan has asked, which city will be better to do big and small conventions? So most of the conventions happen in the bigger cities, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego. And they have huge convention spaces. So these are mostly the places where you will see a lot of international conventions happening. But again, if you're talking about incentives, incentive groups that are going there for an incentive experience, then again, those three cities are very popular, but destinations even like Orange County, like Anaheim, like Buena Park in Orange County, uh, and we've seen people do groups in Napa Valley. So these all have spaces as well. So it just depends on how much time, how you can connect, how big is your group. But yes, ideally, the three major gateways. Plus, of course, San Jose also has convention space. Mm, and yeah, it depends on what budget the client is looking for. And we can always look into that. And for incentives, great options. We've done tons of incentives in most of our major gateway cities. And we've had incentives, board meetings that have gone beyond, that has gone to Lake Tahoe, that has gone to Napa Valley, that have opted for Santa Barbara, um, Monterey. So, and just to give you an idea, we also have a lot of domestic airports within California. So you can actually fly from one city to the other. Like I have flown from Palm Springs to San Francisco. You also have an airport in Sonoma. You have an airport in Lake Tahoe, the Reno Airport. You also have an airport in Mammoth Lakes. You have an airport in Orange County called the John Wayne Airport. I have actually taken a flight from Orange County to San Francisco. You have an airport in Santa Barbara. You have an airport in San Diego, which is in the heart of the city. So the airport is only 15 minutes from wherever you are. So yeah, so tons of airport even within, so you can actually interconnect by flying within the cities as well if you have a big group and you don't have that much of time to drive. So I think those are most of the questions, except one last one. I just got one which says, there is snowfall in California. If so, which month? Kevin Mohan Jayakumar. So yes, we have snow in some parts of California, not all parts of California, because we have a huge coast as well. So if you want to look at snow experience, we have Mammoth Lakes and Lake Tahoe, Yosemite as well, and the Sequoia National Park, the High Sierra region, basically. The entire High Sierra region is completely covered in snow in winters. I can't tell you which month, but I think snow should start typically falling November. I was there in November, and it started snowing while we were driving back from Yosemite. So I would say November, but to be completely covered in snow, you would have to look at months between December, January, February, March. Even now, there's March in, there's snow in the entire Sierra region. So people are still skiing and snowboarding. And Lake Tahoe and Mammoth Lakes are some of the top ski destinations in the world. So it's fantastic. 1 minute you can be in the mountains skiing, take a flight, 1 hour later you're sitting in the beach and enjoying the sun. So that's the reason why California is so fantastic. And somebody said, Surabhi Singhi said, can you walk along the Golden Gate Bridge? Of course you can. There's a walking path across the Golden Gate Bridge. You can drive by. It's a very long bridge, so just keep that in mind. And you can also rent bikes and bikes like bicycles. They call them bikes in the US. So you can rent bicycles with companies like Hike and Bike, and they have organized tours where you can actually bike around the city, and you can also bike across the Golden Gate Bridge. So that's also a very fun experience for people to try, because San Francisco in general is a walking city. It's not a city where you want to sit inside the car, because it's so beautiful that you want to be outside exploring. So I guess that's it from my end. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to email me on my email ID. You can see it on the screen. And please participate in the contest. And the contest is open for everybody. So please tell your colleagues about the contest so they can also be a part of the itinerary building dreamers contest. And everyone is welcome. Please make sure you submit before 31st and 31st March. And I am going to now hand it over to Disha.
Muted.
A big thank you to all of you, and we truly appreciate the fact that you've taken time off from your busy schedules to attend the webinar. I'm sure the webinar has been informative and it will help you in enhancing your business interests. I repeat, if you have any more queries, please feel free to mail it to Christina. Also, just a quick information, we will be sending out an email of today's presentation to all of you all in the next few days. Thank you for attending the webinar. Have a pleasant evening.